Hello, everyone. It's Congresswoman Robin Kelly from Illinois' 2nd Congressional District. For Hispanic Heritage Month, I wanted to feature a member of the Latinx community who is doing great things to serve our district. Let me introduce you to Hennika Rodriguez. Hennika is a proud alumni of DePaul University's Honors College, having obtained her bachelor's in political science and a minor in Latino Studies. Currently, she serves as a Latinx student outreach and retention coordinator at Prairie State College. In her role, she works mostly with first-generation Latinx students, helping with every step of the enrollment and registration process. Hello, Jennica, and thanks for
Hi.
joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So, as our first person we're doing this with, so congratulations to you on being
Thank you.
highlighted. Can you tell me a little bit about your job and the importance of having someone like you at colleges and universities?
Yeah, I mean, you summarized it well. I have the privilege of assisting our Latinx students in our community at our community college, and I assist with every step of the enrollment and registration process. So that includes a lot of whatever the student and their family needs. And I say family because I find it just as important to include the parents, to include the siblings, have everybody on board for what's going to be this next chapter of the student's life, which is college. And as we know it, a very difficult transition for a lot of us. So I take it upon myself and I pride myself in providing what I think is a holistic approach to crafting an academic plan that works best with the individual student's needs, their financial situation. We know it can change from year to year, so tweaking it if we have to, but ultimately working with the student every step of the way to make sure that whatever goals they have academically and professionally, that we help them reach that. I think this work is very important, and that we should have somebody at all colleges and universities assisting this demographic. And let me clarify, it's important to have somebody with that title that students know they can go to directly, but I think it's important for staff and faculty at every college and administration to understand the richness that this culture brings to their institution and making sure that each institution does their research to know what the needs are for the Latinx communities that they serve. I'm in the south suburbs, so those needs may look a little different than some of our students closer to the city. And so it's important that we have that liaison, that one person that students can feel comfortable reaching out to when they encounter an obstacle, as we know that they will, because all of us do. And at that point, then when we have a whole village that can help them to stay on track and be successful.
Now, did you know that you wanted to, or did you even know a job like this existed, or did you know this is something you wanted to do, or did it come from your experiences in college?
Yeah, so if you would have told me years ago that this sort of thing existed, I would have been like, I'm all over it. That's exactly what I want to do. I always knew I had a passion for my community. I was going to go a different route, but I ended up in higher education because I started working for a TRIO grant, which at the time was serving middle school and high school students, basically talking to them about what college was, taking them on college visits. So I mixed my two passions for the first time, which was helping my community and college. And I realized that I did like working with the younger children or the younger students, but the ones that had my heart were the seniors or nearing senior status because they clung to me and they had all kinds of great questions for me. They wanted to know how somebody like myself, who was like them, also Mexican American, how did I manage to go through college? How did I get scholarships? How did I study abroad? They wanted to know how I did everything. And their parents wanted to know more about understanding the financial aid and just the college process in the United States. And so I realized that there was a huge need, just like we have in every field, to serve the Latino community. But specifically in the South Suburban District, there was a huge need for seniors in the area to have somebody that could assist them and answer all their questions.
As you're working with Latinx young people, what do you see as the biggest need, maybe even the biggest challenges? What's important to them?
So many things, right? But I think the pandemic came and mixed up, kind of shook us up a little bit and changed slightly what students are, afraid of and what kinds of obstacles they're facing. When the pandemic hit, my heart broke for my students because I realized so many of them already had so many barriers, so many obstacles, and I knew that something like this pandemic and moving to virtually and a completely different environment could change the way, but that they approached higher education. The good thing is that even in spite of the pandemic, the students have persisted, and our community is very much still seeking to get that higher education, seeking to better their communities, their own professional lives, but also their communities. And so even though the pandemic has been an obstacle, I don't think it's been the biggest obstacle. I think the biggest obstacle still remains the financial. Not all of our students can get financial aid, obviously, or in the same amounts. And so most of our students are working. I think they're overall for our Latinx community, something that is a huge obstacle. Like, for example, our DACA students, some of our hardest working students at the college and our undocumented students, they need more assistance in being able to bring the financial burden down just a bit so that they can really, if they're already succeeding in these fields, really motivate them to continue to be the shakers and the movers that they have been in our communities everywhere. When the pandemic hit, many of my former students who are DACA recipients are the ones on the front lines in the hospitals as nurses, and it goes to show, right? We need to support our community so that they can continue to help all of us, make a better community for all of us.
Well, I want to know, we've been talking about work. What do you do outside of work? What volunteering do you do, or what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I am a new mom, so
Oh,
given the pandemic and me becoming a mom for the first time, that takes up a good amount of my time
yes,
right now.
it
But
does.
before the pandemic, and hopefully once it's safer for us to be out, volunteering is something that I like to help our students at the college participate in. It's within the community, so that was me being alongside with them for that. Volunteering at local churches. There's a big church in the area that we like to work along with. A lot of our students are, belong to these churches, and so they want to help give back. The college participates in a lot of things like food drives and Halloween fests and stuff like that. And so I like to make sure that our students and their goal, with myself included, that we volunteer and help, bring the community onto the college campus, bring resources to the community whenever an opportunity arises, connect our students to volunteering opportunities that could potentially turn into internships or scholarship opportunities. So that's what I've been up to recently, though, the new baby.
Well, congratulations on the new baby. And I just want to thank you so much again for joining me and just applaud you for all the work you do in the 2nd Congressional District. And it makes me so proud to have someone like you serving in our district. So thank you so much, and the best to you, and enjoy the baby.
Thank you. And a huge shout out to all. There's a lot of fierce warriors out there who are also assisting these students, and that I've had the pleasure to run into, meet. I've had the privilege of working with all over Illinois. So there's a lot of us out there doing the work, and I'm just blessed to be one of them trying, right?
Well,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.